all set up and ready to do our second split. But wait, Houston, we have a problem. Early in March, this hive seemed to be a little weak. Then we came back towards the end of March, and the hive was just going crazy, stuffed full of bees. The queen had just laid brood everywhere you could find. So it looked like we were going to have to do a split. I mean, we were finding queen cups all over the place. So we come back now today, which is the beginning of April, and we say, okay, it's time to go in and do a split.
Lots of stores.
Well,
and 3 queen cells.
actually queen cups.
Capped brood.
Something was missing this time around.
I'm seeing a lot of cleaned out cells, but I'm not seeing as much brood. I'm wondering whether these guys had a problem. Oh, no.
One thing about beekeeping, you never want to assume anything. In carpentry, you measure twice, cut once. In beekeeping, inspect is the word. Inspect, inspect, inspect.
I'm not seeing any young brood. That worries me.
Sorry about all the wind noise, but that's the nature of spring. Windy and breezy days.
But I'm actually not seeing the strength that I saw last week in this colony. I do not think they swarmed. Now we're back to stores. I don't know.
I was having a clear change of heart about this hive. You don't want to split a weak hive or a hive that's in trouble.
I'm aborting this decision. I don't know whether she's dropped off and she's laying in the upper super. We'll check that out. But I'm just not seeing the type of crowding that would warrant doing a split on this hive. So we're reversing this. We're going to put this hive back together. And we're going to try to ascertain whether we have a queen upstairs. Because this went from being something that I thought we absolutely positively had to split. But if you're going to do a split, you want to see a lot of that young brood and eggs. If I don't see anything in the upper super, then I'm going to go into one of these other hives and drop a frame of eggs in here. Because they may have had something happen. Although they're calm on a windy, cool day. These cells I'm seeing here are classic emergency cells. They're constructed if
Empty cells, to be specific.
if the queen is lost or the queen died. But if you don't have any young enough eggs, well, then it just isn't going to work. If I do see young brood upstairs, we're just going to button this one up because there's enough. There's enough room for that queen to expand quite a bit.
In fact, all of the cups that I had found in both the lower and upper supers appeared to be empty. No
I
eggs.
thought I saw an emergency cell when I first looked at this hive. But you know, sometimes they'll do super seeds, or sometimes they'll do swarm cells up on the comb, but it's less common. Now they have the cells cleaned out down there, but they expect some activity. This is just not what I was seeing before. So we have a good cluster of bees over here, so we may yet find brood.
Queens can be tricky. They can stop for no apparent reason and then restart. And these bees were calm.
That one there, let's see if I can bring him in the middle of the frame. Looks like it might have something in it. Brood. And possibly another emergency cell there. I'm gonna put a frame in here from another hive. I gotta go find some eggs.
Dropping a frame with eggs in there, or young larvae, is a good insurance policy. It doesn't really damage anything.
If I found a frame with eggs upstairs, I'd be really happy. I'd put it in the medium super. So we'll take a quick look here.
I knew our crazy queen hive had some good genetics behind it, so what better a place to, get a frame of eggs from? And I found one in the upper super, medium, and that makes it a lot more convenient than having to dig down on both hives to the lower super to try to find a frame with eggs. What you don't want to do is take the bees along for the ride. Lord knows you might end up transferring the queen over to the other hive. And there's a little less fighting if you're just giving the eggs.
We're going to move this guy down there. So what was initially going to be a split today turns out to be an emergency rescue. If there is a queen in this hive, and she is laying somewhere, then they won't do anything with that frame that I just put in here. If, on the other hand, they're queenless, we'll see emergency cells drawn from eggs, and hopefully they'll get themselves queen right. So this didn't turn out exactly like we thought it would, but when it comes to honeybees, lots of times that's the way it is. So through this wonderful roller coaster known as beekeeping, we're grateful to have you around. Please like and subscribe. We want to bring you this content, and we want to show you what we're going through raising bees, but we need a little bit of your support in order for the message to get out there, in order for YouTube to propagate it. So hit that like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Thank you. So on March 11th, these guys looked weak. We came back 10 days or so later, and they were strong. They were blasting along. That was March 21st. There was one clue that worried me a little bit, and that was I saw an emergency cell. One of the queen cells was an emergency cell. That happens. But when we did our other split, I decided not to look in on this guy. Just let him be. I'll come back and do the split the next day, which is today. And I'm glad I waited, and I'm glad we went in there and looked, because the roller coaster continues. If you look at the entrance, it looks like this is a really hopping hive still. But inside, I don't see any young brood. So we moved some eggs over, and we hope for the best. We hope they'll raise a queen, if they don't have a queen. And we'll get a productive hive back online. Who knows, but we'll see you. Good day from Buzz Park.